the stick! Get the stick, Geordie!
Well, Lord knows if you can hear me, it's windy as hell here today. Hey, Pop, how are you? Staring into the sun. Anyway, it's been a while since we did any work on the transom, and it's time to finish this up. It's in pretty good shape, although there's a lot of deficits. A lot of dark plugs, a lot of water damage, a lot of plugs made out of the wrong material. I'm going to try and keep you in the shade. I wonder if you can actually see. Anyway, and then of course there's these bloody splines that someone put in, and they're already loose, so there's quite large gaps here. And the splines, of course, are a much lighter wood and won't look very good when it's all varnished up. I was going to stain them, which meant masking them off, staining it, removing the masking, and that was a bit of work and it was a bit of a fuss. But I've had sort of a whole new plan. I'm going to try a technique that I read about, and that's wet sanding the oil. And what it does, of course, it mixes the sawdust in with the oil and pumps it into all the little voids. Maybe these large cracks, maybe all the other little voids I have all over the place. And of course that would preclude being able to pre-stain these splines, because of course I'd be sanding the stain off as I did that. So I'm going to try this technique, and then to deal with the splines and a few of the plugs that are the wrong color, because they're the wrong wood, I'm literally going to take a brown magic marker and them into submission. I mean, what is stain after all but ink, and ink, you know, so I think it's perfectly legitimate. And I'll do that between coats. After the first coat I'll put it on, and then I'll put a couple more coats of the oil. Anyway, I'm not sure you're getting any of this because of the bloody wind and the light, but I wanted to check in before I started. I'm going to put oil on right now, and we'll see how this works out with the wet sanding. I'm a huge believer in tung oil as a finish for wood, and I have been warned against it. In fact, I think everyone in the wooden boat world has hoped to try tung oil once and realized that it just fails too quickly. You have to be able to put on another coat about every month year round. And here in the Pacific Northwest, in Victoria, BC, we should have winters that would make that possible, but we'll see. This wet sanding is really turning out to be amazing. So what I've done, basically I oiled the whole transom once with thinned oil, and then I just keep putting oil on the pad of the sander and the tung oil, and just sand, and you can just see that the sawdust here is just filling certainly the worst offenders of the gaps around these splines. But this hole down here was a missing bung. And I'm not so sure that that's the most ideal way to fix a missing bung, but it was one I missed while I was replacing a lot of the other bungs. The one I'm really curious about is this big gash here. This is quite deep, 1/8 of an inch deep, and a pretty nasty gnarly gash, and I think I can fill it with this wet sanding technique I'm using. Anyway, let's see what we can do. I'm loving this. Okay, just a few minutes, completely filled. And you can see how it works. Basically you can see the sawdust and the oil mixed together here, and as I work my way along, it just pumps the sawdust and the oil into all the little voids, and well, this transom has lots of them, no doubt about it. So you may say, well, why not just use filler? Except this is filler made of mahogany from the very transom and tung oil, two of my favorite things. I'm loving it.